bum bum dun dun na 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 bum da do 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 do
Alrighty, it looks like we're
do
there.
do do. Yeah.
Sitting there trying to get the music going. Not the
Yabba
music
dabba do.
up.
Is it up
It's
and running?
going.
But are you running? Up and running. I'm
Oh
running.
yeah. Well, I mean that's a good reason why Mayflower hasn't been around. She's been rehearsing for the school play.
Yep.
So I did actually get to catch part of it. Unfortunately, I was in so much physical pain, I had to leave shortly thereafter. But I did get to see her come out on stage as Draco Malfoy. And I gotta tell you, if you ever meet Mayflower, she's such a sweet girl. So
Yes.
sweet. She's so nice.
May is awesome.
Yet, when I saw her play Draco Malfoy in Puffs, I'm like, yeah, don't piss this girl off, because she could totally flip the script on you.
Yeah, if you're a good actor, you can definitely make it to where like, hey, you play a role and you really go, "Grr," or you're
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I'm running away from that person right there, right there. Yeah, you right
yeah,
there.
I mean, it's like you see her and you're always like, oh, she's so nice, she's so sweet. You know, she sees and all this, but no. In the role of Draco Malfoy, she totally pulls off the evil person.
Well, great job, May, for pulling that off. That
So
means
I did get to see part of that, but then after that it was because for the bulk of the day we were working on redoing my grandmother's deck, and it was a bit much, and I was sore from like my neck to my toes, and I really did try to sit and catch this play, and I lasted about a half hour, 45 minutes before I was just like, I couldn't get comfortable. But I wanted to at least show my support, so I went to show my support. It's a very interesting play.
So is it a take on the Harry Potter series? I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's a satire, it's a spoof, but instead of focusing on Gryffindor and Slytherin, it focuses on Hufflepuff. And it's
Okay.
it's self-aware in the sense that they acknowledge the rest of the Harry Potter films, and they change some names for obvious copyright infringement.
Don't want to get sued.
But they're self-aware enough that they poke fun at it, and the whole play paces a lot against all the movies. So I got through the majority of Sorcerer's Stone satire, but it was enough to see, you know, the various characters, and it's
Scary, scary, scary. Oh.
Nah, you didn't scare me, Mayflower. I was actually quite impressed. I was quite happy, and it was a good sense. It was a good comment. I think it's we just find the right inspiration. You can let out your evil side.
Yes.
So
That works.
I just don't know. I'm going to be smart enough to not be on the receiving end. I'll just be on the sidelines with popcorn. Likes to be you.
Yeah, and, you know, the anger goes left. And I'll be going right zigzag.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought the play was it was definitely something I want to learn a little bit more about.
Okay.
So most typical high school plays are this is obviously something that's been done on Broadway for a while, and after a few years it could start going to the high school level. So I'm very curious to see how the Broadway version did. Which reminds me, it's about time. I haven't watched Stomp in a while, and I miss watching. You ever see that one?
I have not seen that one, but I know about it.
I mean,
So.
it came out in the 90s, so, you know, it was one of those things, but Stomp is great because there's no speaking.
Yeah.
It's a complete musical, but there's no speaking.
That's really cool, actually.
So,
Yep. Speaking, yeah, a lot of the stuff, you know, Broadway is back, so plays are coming back and
Yeah.
going on tour, so that's a good thing. You like plays? Check out all the listings at your local theater.
theater is always a lot of fun. It's near and dear to my heart because
Oh, yeah.
that's I've been doing theater stuff when I was in high school and had a lot of fun with that. Haven't done much theater outside of doing the content creation and the D&D stuff, but
Yeah.
I keep entertaining the idea of going back to.
Oh yeah. Well, there's a lot of theater houses around here now.
Oh yeah,
So,
one of the ones I used to haunt was Little Theater Virginia Beach.
hmm
They're a community theater. I know a few people who are there now, and they've done some good shows. I was able to do a few shows. That's how I met my theater teacher when he took over from my high school theater troupe. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, there was a lot of great times doing high school theater. Definitely a lot of fun. My crew ran the school.
you were number one in their
I
hearts.
mean, I was a tech guy. I did the theater. I'm a nice guy, so I knew
works
people.
out,
I knew people.
Yeah, it works. So,
You know,
all that
it
matters.
helps when you cross that line and do something stupid, and then it's like you got enough connections that you can kind of smooth over the repercussions.
If it works, it works.
Yeah,
And it works.
it did.
Do it, people. Be nice.
So yeah, here's episode 109 of Scuba and The Ry, our Tuesday night chit chat about whatever and movies and stuff like that.
Yes.
We were off last week because I went to Wisconsin to visit family for Thanksgiving.
The gobble gobble up north.
That was fun. We drove out there and spent a few days out there. It was nice. At first, I was like, I'm going to do some work, but then it got to, you know what? I just want a vacation.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I want a vacation.
When
So
you're on vacation, just
it
disconnect.
became a vacation.
Just disconnect, people.
It was fun. I wasn't able to meet up with anybody I knew from the digital space in Wisconsin, but one of my friends, he recommended a restaurant, and I was like, I'm gonna make an effort to go try this restaurant.
Did you get to it?
I did get to it. I did not have the greatest experience,
Okay.
but I will definitely go back and check this place out. The
right.
place is called the Weary Traveler. It's in Madison, Wisconsin. It is near the college. So if you're familiar with I think a closer equivalent would be like if you were to be like down in Ghent, here in Hampton Roads, where it's like an older part of town where it's more the shops are all right next to each other and you would walk down the street.
Yep, that is pretty much, yeah. By looking at the offerings, yeah.
I did do some shopping. I unfortunately did not find anything for me. However, did check out a couple of stores. One of the stores I went to, it was like you could take Home Depot, Walmart, and Tractor Supply and put them all in one store. This is what this place was. It was
That sounds like the scuba store to me.
it's called Farm and Fleet, right? So Farm and Fleet, it's like we walked in, I turned left and did the outer loop. I didn't even finish the outer loop. I'll be honest with you, I didn't finish it. When I walked in and turned left, it was hunting, sports, trailer, tractor. I mean, it's like, I didn't know if I was in Harbor Freight or Tractor Supply or what. They had all kinds of stuff. And as you wrap around, automotive, so it's like, it's kind of like got the Walmart vibe with like an automotive area, and then trailers, which is something you never see there, and then tools and hunting supplies, and then keep going down, automotive section, all the way down to clothes, toys, everything. I mean, this huge store that literally was like an amalgamation, Tractor Supply, Harbor, a little bit of Harbor Freight.
Sounds like a way better Walmart to me, and just
Oh yeah, I mean,
Skimming, yeah.
as I told my wife, it's like if Walmart, Home Depot, and Tractor Supply stopped screwing around and combined, this is the store we would get.
yeah. I'm just looking at the departments. Yeah, that is all three combined, people.
Oh yeah, it was great. We went to the Duluth trading outlet.
Yeah, I know about that. I know about Duluth.
So, well, we were talking and it was like, my wife wanted to get some new clothes, and we're like, we're up here. We passed a Duluth store because beforehand it was like the only way I knew about Duluth was when you ordered stuff online, right? But here was an actual outlet. So it was like 30 minutes from our hotel. So yeah, we'll go down there. she got pants and whatnot, and she's like, she loves the pants. They're really comfortable for her, and whatnot. So it wasn't bad. My son got a couple of things. Unfortunately, I didn't have anything in my size, but it had some stuff I liked. So if I was a couple sizes smaller,
You know what to get.
I know what to get.
That's good.
And my aunt might still send me like gift cards for later, so whatever.
Yep. They are online, so definitely, I do
But
see them all the time.
The Weary Traveler, back to the Weary Traveler, is in the college part, so had to try to find a place to park because this is like old towny kind of vibe. The shops are all really close together.
The Ghent style.
Yeah, so I had to find a place to park and we went in there, and then went in, and it's like an old English pub type feel, right? It's got these wood panel walls and tables and books and games. I think on the top shelf there was like these 3-foot tall chess pieces, and you're like, when are you gonna what? But and all these weird images on the walls, which were really cool. The food, and then it was like we were getting drinks, and my friend had recommended I get the hot grog, GROG, and it was like, all right, check that, great, absolutely great. And then we ordered food, and unfortunately, this is where things went sideways. The food took forever to come out.
Okay, that's not good service.
And when it came out, it was lukewarm at best.
That's getting
Cold at worst.
minus 2 points.
But even though it was, my son ordered a Reuben for the first time, and I kid you not, this Reuben, when it came out, the halves of the sandwiches were like this big. I mean, absolutely huge.
That's a hole in the wall sandwich for sure.
Totally, it totally was. And homemade chips, like the potato chips, were fried right there on the spot. The bread they make there in the basement. They make the bread, they make their sauce, they make their own ketchup, all the sauces, all the bread, all that stuff they make there on site. So it's got a very distinct taste to it.
I am adding this place to a future travel.
Yes, I got a burger. It's called their Bad Mouth Burger, and the burger I could only eat half the burger, man.
Is it bad mouth or bad breath?
Bad breath.
Okay.
Bad breath burger. I ate half of it. I couldn't eat the other half.
All right. So I'm going to describe it because I have the menu up. A half-pound pastry-raised Wisconsin beef from Underground Butcher with cream cheese, green goddess dressing, caramelized onions, garlic, tomatoes, pica sauce mild, with a side of Yukon Gold potatoes and mixed greens.
Yep.
For $14.50. That's a good deal.
Good deal. And the burger, I mean, the burger, like, on the plate at the top of the bar. I got through half of it. I couldn't get through the other half. And part of it was because it was kind of lukewarm, but the other part was it was just filling. Now, of course, and my mom got the Wisconsin cheese platter, which is 4 kinds of cheese, some crackers, so some salami, a nice cold cut thing.
Yeah.
And my son got this root beer that he really liked, and some. My wife got tea, and my daughter and my wife were sharing the food. She ordered the carne asada, which it came out cold, and yet my son's meal was the warmest. Mine was the middle. So on that side, the food wasn't great. It took like 40 minutes for the food to come out, and it was lukewarm and all that. So obviously, as a patron, I was a little upset. So it was when the guy came around and asked how it was, we told him, look, food was cold. I mean, that kind of ruined the experience. Next thing I know is he's like, I'll go get the manager, and the manager comes out. Turns out it wasn't the manager. It was the owner.
Okay.
And we were sitting there, and this is and we had a dialogue. We had a conversation. And he understood that, we were upset that the food was cold. And one of the things to come find out is And this is a thing that we've been seeing across the pandemic and everything else, is the reduction in food service and these hospitality service things. Part of the reason why the food was cold was they were short staffed and the place was kind of busy. So I was like, okay, I can see that from a service perspective. Any of us who've worked restaurants know when things are kind of busy and you only got one person running around to all the tables in the restaurant, you can be a little dead on your feet because you're trying to catch up. And then if you're short staffed in the kitchen, that's even going to make it worse because you don't have enough people trying to pace everything out.
Yeah.
So I don't fault them for that, but I do see it. And we were talking, and this is the bit that really got me.
All right. I'm listening.
Is he was right there next to the university. 45,000 students at this university.
University of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's in Madison? 45,000 students in walking distance of this place. Only one of them applied for a job there. Really? How is that for the generation with these kids who don't want to get these kind of jobs? One person out of 45,000. And that person had to be really kind of persuaded to apply for the job there. So it's like, it feels like a niche restaurant like this, which the atmosphere was great. The food, despite it being lukewarm, was still really good. And the price point wasn't bad.
Yeah, the price point's not bad. I just skimming the menu.
Oh yeah, the price is great. The stuff is great. I would definitely go back and check them out. Hopefully I can catch them on a better day or not quite have so many people at the table. But he was nice, good customer service, comped us the meals, charged us for the drinks, and I still left like a $20 tip because I don't fault the waiter. He was trying his best. You could tell he was a younger kid compared to us at the table, with the exception of my kids. But he tried really hard and whatnot. And it was just the meals we ordered were complicated.
Yeah. So I can understand both sides of the spectrum with what the owner was saying. But, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, it's not the only job out there.
Yeah.
So, and with technology and different ways of making income by staying at home, which both of us do right now.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But I mean, I feel bad for the owner. The owner was really cool.
Oh yeah.
I do. That's part of why I left such a generous tip. Because he asked is like, because it was like a $70 meal. He comped us down all of our menu, all of our food, or the food for me, my wife, and my son. He comped our food, charged us for the drinks. Overall, so it dropped the bill down to like $20 from 70.
Yeah.
And he the only thing he asked for was please tip like you would if it was the normal meal, because you know they are trying.
Yeah.
And next thing I know, he took the 3 food plates, took them back into the back, and proceeded to lecture the cooks on how to timely handle the food and to try, you know, put a little more rush in the food prep so that it gets out while it's still warm, because it doesn't matter the presentation, doesn't matter the ingredients, not warm when you get it, it won't matter.
It doesn't matter. You know, presentation does factor and, you know, other things factor, but if that food ain't warm and ready, if it needs to be, it's going to make a difference.
Oh yeah. Kelly, that Kelly's over the Mayflower in the chat's talking about the Kelly's Tavern that used to be just down the street off the water.
Yeah, I remember which one. I know which one.
I've only been there a couple of times, but yeah, I could totally see they've had some rough times. I don't know how they got shut down, but I think they finally finished renovating after 5 years.
Yeah, but yeah, Kelly's is a good local chain.
There was another pub that I saw that I didn't get the chance to check out. I'll save that for my next trip up there.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at 2 trips up there next year. One in March for Gary Con, and then next October for Gamehole Con. And Gamehole Con is in Madison, so I should definitely be able to go back and check out some of these places again.
It'd be fun.
But yeah, so overall, the trip was great. The drive up was pretty peaceful. The drive back, not so much. Because we were driving back, and when we hit Indiana, it started to rain. And it turned from rain to snow. So from Indiana all the way through Ohio and halfway through Pennsylvania was all snow. So my daughter was so happy, and she's like, snow, 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 snow. It's like, all right, snow. It snowed a little bit when we were in Wisconsin, like the morning of Thanksgiving. I get up, I walk outside, there's snow flurries. That's why I did that video on the Instagram. It's like I wake up and it's snowing.
Yep, I saw that.
Then the drive back, and it's like, the coolest thing about driving in the snow is it makes you think you're in Star Wars.
Yeah, you're on Hoth.
No, when you're driving, if you're driving,
it feels like
the snow is coming at you.
It feels like a hyperdrive.
Hyperspace.
I still think of Hoth if it's snow.
The thing is, we were talking about that in the car, and it's like, my wife and I are both like, yeah, this is like Star Wars, and my kids are like, what do you mean? Look at the road in front of us. Hey, look. Think about Star Wars when they go to hyperspace. And you can hear my daughter go, oh!
No, that's definitely a good reaction to thinking that you're in Star Wars.
It's a whole generational.
Yeah, it took a second, but eventually she made it through.
But yeah, we drove pretty much straight through. I got like a short nap, and then we switched out right before getting home, and then Sunday was just totally dragging Sunday.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
Well, I mean, I slept for like 70 miles while had my wife drive, and I was really concerned because she's developed a lot of anxiety when it comes to driving.
Okay.
So when we're going through and it's like it was raining, then we switched out, and then it started snowing, and all the time, and she's sitting there kind of gripping onto the handrails and stuff, being a little panicked, and it's like, I probably would have been fine except anticipating, because on Thursday when we went out to get coffee, because we stayed at the Hampton Inn, or Hilton, we stayed at a Hilton Inn up there. They had their continental breakfast and coffee. Absolutely horrid. The only redeeming factor on their continental breakfast was the waffles. And the thing I like that is they had these little cups where you had the measurement on the side for how much batter to make one waffle. Or if you flip the cup around, if you had one of those ones that made 4 small waffles, how much batter to make 1 to 4 waffles. That was kind of cool. Oven was a little too hot, but the rest of it, absolutely horrid. She tried the oatmeal, and from the look on her face when she was eating the oatmeal and the and the taste she described, you could probably chop up cardboard, mix it with flour, and it would taste better than the stuff they were serving you.
Yeah, they must have just kind of like went to behind the church and ordered from somebody's back trunk.
But and the other thing was when they had this little steamer thingy with like Western omelets, ham, and Yukon potatoes. You open it up, the Western omelets are the exact same. It literally looks like somebody took a pack of them out of like a cookie bin, opened the package, warmed them up, and then tossed them in there. They're the exact same. It's like, and the thing is, you could smell the artificial eggs as soon as you opened it, and it was like,
yeah, I would be like, I'm going across the street to Denny's or.
Actually, we went to across the street was a place called Perkins, which we went to.
Yep, I know all about Perkins.
And then the following day, we went to Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with Cracker Barrel.
But the coffee was even horrid too. So we ended up going to a little gas station thing called the Quick Trip, which is like a 7-Eleven variant. But yeah.
Yeah, it's a little concerning, May, but hey, ups and downs on the road trip.
To be honest with you, it's like, I'm doing these trips. I love to travel. I love to experience these. But man, when you have a bad experience, it's like, it. And on top of that, it's like you can describe how bad the experience is and make people laugh. Good.
Yeah.
I mean, some people said I could try and do stand up. Apparently, I'm somewhat funny. At least that's what some people say.
Skittish.
But
make me laugh now.
I don't know. I mean, do you want goose down, or do you want a joke, or do you want something funny, or
I don't want to cry.
I can't promise that either. Sorry.
Yeah.
You want to cry? Go check out some of these continental breakfasts.
Yeah, I'll just Well, that's all you need to say, and I'll just be like,
No,
it's
no.
still free, you know.
Sorry.
Yeah, when it's free, you get what is free, so.
Yeah, you do get what you paid for, and this was supposedly included. You know what the hardest thing about being in Wisconsin was?
I don't know, what?
Trying to figure out which Green Bay Packer thing to get a friend who's a fan of who likes Green Bay Packers without knowing their collection.
It's
Especially
easy.
when you're in there and it's like wall of Green Bay Packer stuff, and it's like,
More than likely, I don't have whatever was all over wall to wall, even though I do have a lot of Green Bay Packers stuff.
I mean, there was coffee mugs. One of them looked like a little Stein. Then there was the hats in there. Then we went over to the mall, and in the mall, it was like they have the sports store. Half the store is green.
I would have been in heaven. And my credit card would have been crying. Talk about something crying, my credit card would have been crying.
Crying, your credit card probably would have leapt out of your wallet and be like, peace, dude.
Yeah, I'd have walked into the store and my wallet is walking backwards. Like, nope, can't use this, can't use this, can't use this. Like, I guess I gotta open up another account.
Well, one of the things up there was I had to get my mom a new phone. So I got her the new iPhone 13 for her account. And some strange reason, she couldn't do anything with the phone because she wasn't listed as an authorized user on the account. So as a joke, it was like, all right, well, that's part of why I'm up here is to get you a new phone. So I'm sitting there talking to the girl. It's like, all right. And I was like, what did you need me for? You just had to be standing here. It's like, all right, well, what do we do to make sure I don't have to drive all the way from Virginia to come fix your account stuff? I mean, it's talking to my aunt. It's like, this is just the excuse to get me to come up here. That's what it is.
Yeah, I think it's just the excuse. They're just like, you know what, my phone ain't working. Can you make the 18-hour drive now? Yeah.
Hey, Q, how's it going, buddy? Yeah, it was definitely something. But got to visit my uncle. My wife realized that we will not follow my mom for any directions anymore.
Is it one of those when you see this building, make a left, and then by the old Route 58?
Nah, man, you can't do that. This is Wisconsin. Get out of the city. It's all farm roads.
Oh yeah.
Turn left at this hay bale. But,
okay.
we were Friday was shopping. It was supposed to be shopping and then going over to my uncle's to check out his cabin. Because a few years ago he bought an old log cabin and has been fixing it up. Cabin looks amazing, right? So it's like, okay, we start early in the day. We hit Duluth. We hit the shoe store. We hit some of these other places. Have lunch at Weary Traveler. Do the phone thing for my mom, and then drive out there. And I ask her, what's the address? Because I'm running GPS the entire bloody time. Right? What's the address? And we noticed a few times following my mom from one store to the next, it's like, the GPS is telling me to go this way, yet she's not driving anywhere near it. It's like, obviously I'm trying to trust someone who's in the area, local in the area, knows the roads versus the GPS. So I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yep, that would, yeah.
And it wasn't quite working. And then we were sitting there driving my uncle's, and of course he's in the next town over, which is, all the way out in the farm country. No traffic lights. Got to worry about deer every 2 miles. I mean, it gets a little sketchy when the sun goes, when it gets dark out there, because there's no light. And it's like we're going, and then it's like we're driving out there, and then a couple of times she makes these turns, and then she stops, and I'm like, what's going on? My GPS is telling me we just got to go down that way another half a mile. And she's like, I'm lost. I don't know which way I'm going. I'm trying to talk to my uncle's girlfriend on the phone to try and coordinate where we're going. And then it's like, all right, I'll turn around and follow you. And then in another part, she stopped where the phone kept cutting out, because that tells you you're out there. It tells you you're out there when the phone service gets spotty, right? You're used to this area where it's like, very rarely does your phone service be spotty, but you can always find the main roads. Out there, it's like the phone gets spotty and you're like, I don't know. And then it's like, we're going to meet her at this intersection. I'm like, yeah, guess what? How about you follow me this time? Because it says if I go that way and then turn right and then turn right, after a couple of miles, we'll be back where we need to be. Like, okay. And then the whole time afterward, my wife was like, we're not following.
Yeah, somebody got you lost, and it's somebody that lives there. So. Yeah. but you know, it happens.
Hey, Seahawks are fun. I'm a Seahawks person. I don't have a whole lot of Seahawks stuff, but I get to break out my few Seahawk things for Christmas because I got Christmas decorations.
Yeah.
Oh, Washington beat Seattle yesterday?
Yeah, May. Yep, May is talking about her family's Washington fans. Her boyfriend's a Seahawks fans. Well, Washington beat Seattle yesterday. So the family was probably doing the ha-ha.
Some years are good, some years are bad. Can you stick with them for the long haul?
Yep.
And if you're a Washington fan, you've been doing it for the long haul. Same thing with Cowboys.
Yeah, long haul since 1991. If you're a Washington fan, so great power to you.
Yep. I'm not much of a football person, but even I know it's like you're going to be one of those fans. Yeah. I mean, the only fans more dedicated than Washington and Cowboys are probably Browns and Bears fans.
Yeah, yeah. Bears fans, a dedicated team that can't win anything. Wouldn't know a quarterback when they find one. But hey, they're my rivals, so keep losing. We keep winning. So.
Yeah, it works. But yeah, so I mean, all of that. It's like kind of fun, kind of relaxing. Did get to watch a lot of History Channel. Watched a lot of History Channel.
Yeah, there's that can happen sometimes.
Got to play on the Switch a little bit. Got to figure out how to use Wi-Fi for different things with the Switch. And guess what? Go to a hotel that has free Wi-Fi. It won't work on your Switch. Because...
Well, at least I know that.
Any place that has free Wi-Fi where you have to go to a website to complete the sign-in, the authorization process, which hey,
you know, I can get it to work at Southern Automotive when I take my car in because it has a signing, but it does work there.
And maybe I just didn't buy. Maybe I just don't have the web browser.
But
part of it going on.
It does act fickle sometimes because there's another place where I couldn't, worth my life, get on.
But I mean, I used my phone hotspot and was able to do program updates on my Switch.
That's good.
Beforehand.
Yep. I always try to update my Switch before I go somewhere just in case.
Yeah. But it was good seeing my uncle, seeing my cousins, their kids. One cousin has 2 kids now, so that was kind of fun. Seeing everybody else and having a good time doing that. So Thanksgiving was pretty quiet in that regard because we all kind of sat, hang out, listen to the siblings all talk to each other. My grandmother still, kicking it, doing the best she can. So it was a good trip. It was good to see family for that. Now back, and now it's like, okay, Christmas is coming. Yay.
Yep. It's right around the corner.
Yay.
In 2022.
Me too.
Yep. When you think about it, you're just like, damn.
I know, right?
It's like, wait, it was just... And now it's what?
Yeah, and here we are almost 40 minutes in, and we hadn't even gotten to our main stuff. I've just been babbling on about my trip to Wisconsin.
I was just sitting here listening. Nope, it won't take me that long to get through them. So
no,
that's why I'm not worried.
But yeah, let's get some through some of these reviews.
Yep.
Real quick.
Yep. So for my Thanksgiving, I watched a lot of movies.
I'm so sorry.
No.
Let's talk about your Thanksgiving.
No,
let's talk about what you were doing.
That's what the movie reviews are for.
Oh, okay.
That's what I did. Movie reviews, watched TV, had Friendsgiving. That's pretty much it. I didn't really do anything else. So, homebody, watched a lot of visual body.
Apparently. So let's start off. We got 4 movies that Ry got to see kind of back to back to back while I was out traveling.
Yes.
So we're going to pump through those, and then we'll get to the one we both saw and we could both comment on.
Yes.
So real quick, we have Encanto. This is the latest one from Disney.
Yeah, the latest Disney animated film. And actually, their 60th animated film.
Oh, wow.
So I did not know that. Going into it, they bring it up right before it starts and says the 60th animated film from Disney.
That's a lot of film.
Yep, I said that. I went and I looked over to my girlfriend who watched it with me. Hi, Angelica. And I was like, damn, 60 movies. Yeah, but they've been around a while, so
I mean, the first one was Snow White, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, Snow White, and
19
then
I don't remember what year, but yeah.
so yeah, that's a lot of films. All right, so let's start about this one. This one's another Latin America, South America. You said specifically Colombian culture inspired story.
Yeah, it's a Colombian-inspired story, and the film centers around a family, the Madrigal family, and it centers around this specific family because what happens is you get a general prologue. The abuela, who at the time had 3 infant children, they escaped their village, which was being, ransacked by unknown conquerors.
Okay.
So with no,
So what time period is this set in?
I don't really know. They don't really say what time period, so it's kind of just a, just kind of mystery. So there's no
Okay.
time period. You just know that the Madrigal family, with the rest of the village, they escape their home, and then left with no hope, they are blessed with this enchanted candle. And with this enchanted candle, they're able to build a new village, and also build a new home that they call the casita. And what's unique about this candle is that it blesses each individual family member with unique gifts. So, and after every generation in the family, they receive a gift until one day, Maribel, who's the main character of the story, doesn't receive a gift. So that's where the film takes place from that point. And just
Okay, so
watch.
this is your typical coming of age.
Nah,
No?
it seems like that when you start, but the film takes a slow and methodical left field, and it steps away from the traditional Disney formula. It starts with the foundation of the Disney formula, the enchanted family, all the color and creativity. You got the song and characterizations that you're familiar with it. But what happens is that the film kind of diverges and focuses on the family and pushes a mixture of the oddities of all these unique gifts with the family, and also Maribel dealing with the fact that she's the black sheep of the family, the one that doesn't happen, but she's also the one that is able to realize that the magic is slowly fading away, but she doesn't know why. And she's tasked with trying to figure out why is the magic disappearing and the family members starting to lose their gifts. And then that's where the film, you start to get the feels. You start to get that Disney magic where you start to see that hidden in plain sight that there is actually family dysfunction. Everything is not what it seems, and each character actually has their own kind of fragility to their own caricature. So there's so much uniqueness and so much depth that happens within her investigation, trying to figure out, and it adds more layers and more distinct distinction to each person's relationships with each other. And you find out, the gifted powers are not as much as what they seem to be. Even though they use it to help the village, there's this pressure of constantly having to be perfect and be in this mirror image that it does start to fracture
So
the family.
it's not a coming of age tale.
No.
What is it? Hero's journey?
Nope. It's its own unique spin of Colombian culture within family appeal. And
Okay.
it focuses truly what is the purpose of the family and what is the purpose of having the miracle from this enchanted candle. And that's where the film ends, and it gives you those really great feels that a great Disney animated film does.
Nice. And this did really well in the box office
Yep.
because it opened last weekend.
Yep.
40 million in
Yep.
the box office.
40
which
million overall. Yep.
Not bad considering the trend we're seeing on the numbers.
Yep.
So it took number one.
Yep. Took number one.
Ghostbusters Afterlife was a close number two at 35 million for its second week.
Yeah, so it's making some good money. But yep, 4 out of 5 full price for this. Definitely anybody that's a fan of Disney, check it out. Theater release.
Alrighty. Next one up on our thing is Tick Tick Boom.
Tick Tick Boom.
Now, this one's on Netflix, and
Yep.
it looks like it's Andrew Garfield, which we haven't seen him do much in a while.
No. Yeah.
So what's up with this one? You said this one's seeing from Lin-Manuel Miranda on there, so
Yeah.
this seems like it's a musical.
Yep, it's a musical. It's a screenplay written by Steven Levinson, which is on the image, but first directorial debut of Lin-Manuel Miranda. So it's his first film that he's ever directed, but a musical. and Andrew Garfield plays the character of Jonathan Larson. And if you're not familiar with him and not familiar with Jonathan Larson or Broadway, he is the person responsible for creating Rent. So he is the person that writes Rent. So what this film focuses on...
Rent is one of my top 5 musicals.
Yep. So what this film actually does, it doesn't focus on him writing Rent. It focuses in on him struggling to bring about a play that he's been trying to bring on Broadway for years, called Suburbia. So he's been working on it for 8 years, and he feels like he's approaching the age of 30, and he feels like he hasn't been able to do anything with his life because all the favorite playwrights of his have been able to do something by the age of 30, and he couldn't. So what this focuses on is a story that builds with him struggling to bring this play to Broadway. And through him and through the parallels of Larson navigating the early 90s in New York City, you get to see the struggles of not him only trying to bring this play to Broadway and trying to be successful, but you also see his just daily issues with rent, friendship, drama, and romance. So all of this stuff is clashing together at one point, and it's very grounded within these issues, and it's very much a personal endurance of your own struggle to just try to find your place in this world. But it's set against a very great pieces of musical numbers. And the transition.
You were telling me that in this one, Andrew Garfield actually does sing all the songs and play a variety of instruments, and he taught himself. He went through the training or whatever to learn how to do all this stuff. Yeah. So it isn't just like lip sync and kind of
everybody sings and he sings, and it's very. This is very, very much one that will drag you in. It humanizes the surrealism of one's dream. Okay. That's how I bring it. And like from each number, it's just start getting better and better and starts pulling you in, and you just like left and right, and he's constantly getting knocked down, but it shows the fragility of perseverance and just keep going, and eventually maybe he will find the light.
Okay. So what are we calling it?
Overall, a very great musical, outstanding performance by Garfield, 4 out of 5 full price. It's on Netflix. Check it out if you are a fan of musicals and a fan of Rent. And you are, so.
All right, next one we have House of Gucci.
House of Gucci.
Now this one seems like it is just... I only know about this from the one time I saw a preview.
Yep.
And this seemed like it was just bat crazy.
And you would be right, because it is bat exclamation point crazy.
I mean, look at this. Look at this lineup. Al Pacino, Jeremy Irons, Jared Leto, Adam Driver, and Lady Gaga. Okay. Now, what is this? Now, is this like a documentary?
Nope.
Okay.
It's a dramatization of the rise and fall of the Gucci family when they were running the Gucci brand. And it centralizes on Patricia Reggiani, who is played by Lady Gaga, who marries into the family through Mauricio Gucci, who is played by Adam Driver. So the film is like broken up, and like it has the 3-act structure, but there's like this film is like 3 phases in an overall kind of mismatched tone. And directed by Ridley Scott. Everybody knows Ridley Scott and his list of films. Don't need to go back there, but what
he's got some credibility.
Yeah, he's got some credibility. So watching this film and watching the characters interact and watching the showcasing of the real life events and building the world within this rich family, you're just so engrossed within the pizzazz and the panache and all the crazy things that happen within this family, because it's like very over the top, but at the same time very just entertaining. It's like this touch of soapiness and melodrama, but with actors and actresses that are very unique within its own archetypes. Like they are archetypes, but they're their own archetypes. So it's just so bad exclamation point crazy watching it. And what happens is that you get this like outsider's perspective of the Gucci family, of all these odd characters that just have this insurmountable wealth and just their stupidity on how they handle it. So
rich people are crazy.
But what happens is that Patricia uses her marriage to navigate her trying to get power within the family. So she kind of persuades Mauricio to get ownership of Gucci from his uncle, who's played by Al Pacino, Aldo Gucci, and his cousin Paolo Gucci, played by Jared Leto. So watching this like string of convenient plotting, because it's very convenient within the plot, and the screenplay is very simple, but it's just watching the direction and watching it happen. It's just so insane, but just
So it's less about the plot and more about this group of characters interacting.
Yeah, it's watching the chess pieces on the board and the contrasting of what's their image and what's really happening behind the scenes. It's just insane crazy.
Okay.
So
what are we calling that one?
Overall, it's an up and down affair. It's very predictable, but it's fun and amazing and great direction. 3.5 out of 5. Matinee, still worth seeing at the theaters.
All right. We'll have to check in when we get our chance.
Yep. King Richard.
King Richard. Now this is the next one with Will Smith and
Yep.
kind of a dramatization or documentary type thing, but this is about the father of Venus and Serena Williams.
Yes.
Two powerhouse tennis players.
Exactly.
This one is on. It was theater release, and it's also on HBO Max.
Yep.
Yeah, HBO Max
For limited time.
So, this one? Seems like it's another one like when he did In the Pursuit of Happiness. It's kind of drama.
It's a dramatization, but it's not as very heavy and familiar as that Pursuit of Happiness. So the film centers around Richard Williams, played by Will Smith, and is watching his dynamic of raising his daughters, and just has this aspiring plan for his daughters. Like, he written out like every little bit of what he wanted his daughters to do, wanted to make the best tennis players in the world, which we already know. But the dynamic of this is that it's not focused on the Williams sisters. It's focusing on the inspirational thematic appeal of the father-daughter relationship and the family cohesiveness. And then through an onlooker's perspective, you see a man that is structured of certainty, but is in a world of constant hardship. So this world is constantly going against him with what he has planned. No matter if it's stuff within the neighborhood, because they live and were raised in Compton, so you got all that dynamic, and eventually just trying to find his way into the tennis world, which is very interesting, but it's just very raw, humanistic and endearing moments. And what makes the film great is that it stays a very point connection with the Williams household. No matter if there's very familiar biopic beats that happen throughout, that centerization on the family being led by Will Smith and Richard Williams makes you feel like every scene and every importance of that family dynamic. It's that personal feels. And that's what makes it raise above the genre, kind of like Encanto. It's its own thing within the familiarity. And that makes what I said, which I mentioned off the air with you, I think this is by far Will Smith's best role to date. I think he's a front runner for Best Actor in a leading role at the Oscars for this, and I wouldn't be surprised if he wins this. Albeit I still have another month of films to get through, but based on everything I've seen, he's the leading contender.
That's fair. I mean, to be honest, it's like Will Smith doing these biopics, some of his work.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, his early work, when he got in the movie scene with like Independence Day, Men in Black, stuff like that. Yeah. Some of those are really cool, but I think honestly, these biopics are where he really shines.
Oh yeah.
As an actor.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but yeah, it's such a great movie. It's one that will have you on the edge of your seat, but have that you in your feels. So even with familiar biopic tropes, it's a standout performance. 4 out of 5, full price. Right now, Scuba and Ry.
The last one in our sequence of family films.
Scuba and Ry do the movies with Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters Afterlife. I got to see this right before I went on vacation, opening weekend. Ry saw it too, so both saw this, and I don't even know where to begin with how much fun this was.
Yeah, I can say watching Ghostbusters Afterlife, Jason Reitman, who's the writer and director of this, who's the son of the original director, Ivan Reitman, and he did a great job in this movie of making it new within the lore, and being able to pay homage to the classics. That's what I believe.
I was totally blown away by that. There are some, I mean, it's definitely some things that are very kind of reminiscent for the original film.
A lot of
With this
stuff in the
one,
third act.
but this is really, this was such a great film because this is like 30 years later, and the next generation, actually the next generation, dealing with we're at the point now we're not dealing with the kids of kids, we're talking about the grandkids and having to go through all this and these things. And there's a lot of great lore callbacks, there's a lot of great moments, and the, just interesting, it's like this fish out of water type of film that's coming together.
Yep.
Standout performances have got to be the kid podcast.
Podcast was my favorite side character. Let me look up who the actor is while you
I
talk.
don't remember who he is, but I swear when I first saw him,
Logan Kim is the actor's name.
As soon as he came on the screen, I was thinking he is the living reincarnation of Dan Aykroyd.
Yes.
And
Right.
and Dan Aykroyd's still alive, so it's like, you know what, this kid's got it. I mean, you watch him, you're thinking, man, really reminds me of Dan Aykroyd in the first film. And there's a great payoff for that later.
Yes.
Not gonna spoil it, but
Yeah. It's better not to spoil it because there's a payoff.
but the thing, and I was talking, I went with my friend, with our friend Penumbra,
Yeah.
and we went and we saw this, and afterwards he and I were talking, and one of the things we realized is each of the four that become the new Ghostbusters, there is a version of the original Ghostbusters.
Yeah, they all have a very unique. They have their own selves being built within the caricature.
Yeah.
But they stand out above what it is as their own, which makes their characters so great. And then there's just the kids just trying to investigate and all the unique stuff that they do in the town. It's like a mixture of coming of age, like you said, fish out of water, but they do it in a very slow, methodical, plotting way that brings you in just enough when everything hits the fan, you're already ready to go and see what happens.
Oh yeah, and the nostalgia factor, the pacing. Me and my friend thought it was pretty much like a perfect film. So I have to say this. I'm going to give it a full 4.5 or a 5 out of 5. I loved it. Whether it receives any awards, I don't care. In terms of being a fan of the original Ghostbusters, and then seeing this, it's like this is the true sequel. This truly caps out a full-on trilogy, and the payoffs are totally worth it. Even the post-credit scenes are totally worth it.
Yeah, that middle one made me laugh.
This one I'm gonna spoil just because it's so hilarious. It's like we're sitting there, we're watching, and it's running through the credits, and it's like they're showing the cast, and then they go, and Sigourney Weaver, and me and
like I didn't see her.
It's like, where the hell was she in the film? I never saw her. Cut scene right there.
That's perfect
there she
timing.
is. It's like, oh, that's clever.
That was clever.
You're gonna tell me this person's in the film. You're gonna make me wonder, did I miss her?
Yeah, you missed her.
And then she gets her own dedicated cutscene with a wonderful callback to the original film.
What's this card? That's all I'm gonna say, people.
But but the one thing that we both kind of thought was it would have been nice if Rick Moranis was in this somewhere too.
It would have been nice, but he's retired from acting completely.
He's also very picky on, if he has done a few things, but he's very picky.
Yeah, he is picky, but you know, it is what it is. And overall, I enjoyed this film. It was a great adventure film with good callbacks. The third act, there are times in the third act where it felt like it was just it balanced nostalgia, but kind of like you're calling the first Ghostbusters over just a little too obvious. But the ending brought it all back, and in a fine note.
The ending really hit you.
So overall, I enjoy this. I think it's worth seeing at the theaters. If you're a fan of Ghostbusters, check it out. 3.5 out of 5 for me.
Yeah. My wife and daughter are going to catch this weekend. So, but yeah, there's our 5 films to kind of catch up on.
That was my Thanksgiving.
Yep, Q. Rick Moranis was a great actor, but even though he's a great actor, the choice he made to take care of his family after his wife passed away, that to me raises him even more, because how it would have been so easy to keep going, but he decided to put his family above his work.
But that's admirable, because some people don't.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's very easy to not do that, and then he did. So
yeah, but Angelica mentioned I had the tears with Encanto, so yep, I did. It happens.
It's all good. It is all good. We enjoy these kinds of things.
Yes, if I enjoy.
So a comment was in the chat, so I got to ask you, since you've seen it, how much is Encanto like Coco?
How much is it like Coco? 0%.
0%.
0%.
Totally different films.
Yeah,
totally different stories.
Because
totally different morals.
Coco is the journey of the father and son within family, but it focuses on Day of the Dead, which is a Mexican tradition, where Encanto focuses on Encanto, which is the idea of family and miracles within the Colombian culture. So it's completely different. Completely different. Yeah.
Moral takeaway and everything.
Different moral takeaway, different colorful aesthetics. You both have color in them, but it's two different colorful aesthetics, in the dynamic of the characters are way... Even though, it's Latin culture, it's not the same Latin culture. It's like going to the Philippines. Not every Filipino culture is the same from one island to the next. So
that's the fair way to go. Yeah. It's definitely worth giving it its own, giving it a fair run.
Yep. So 0%, nothing like it, which makes it even more fun because it's its own thing.
Oh, that was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
A lot of fun. That was almost an hour. Yeah, we're running a little over.
Yeah, well, just in the catch up.
Well, I mean, catching up, and we started a little late. And if you're wondering, why were you late, guys? You said you would be doing this at 7. Well, guess what?
There was a birthday celebration.
My daughter turned 13 today.
A teenager in the house. Alert, alert.
Official. I have 2 teenagers. And oh, good Lord.
Yes, so send all the prayers to this guy right here. He'll need it.
Ryan cried so many times on Coco when we rewatched it.
That is...
I will admit that. Some great feel moments. And I've noticed as I got older, the more of those feel moments really kind of hit you. Like at the end of Ghostbusters Afterlife, that whole sequence, it really got me.
Oh, yeah.
Because I thought I thought it was really nice when some of the background between some of the actors involved. And then the fact that they did this, and they did this in a way that was really, really good.
Oh, yeah. I had some feels when that not going to spoil it, but when those scenes happen, yeah. And Angelica can attest to that because she saw Ghostbusters with me, so she knows I got the feels in that too.
That was definitely perfect. So, yeah, but my daughter turned 13 today.
13.
So she wanted to go out for sushi because she loves sushi. So we went out for sushi, and it took a little longer because it's sushi. You go to a sushi
takes
restaurant.
a minute.
It's not like going to Hardee's or Texas or Texas Roadhouse or any of those other places where the food is fairly quick. Sushi is not a quick meal.
Yep, it's individualized. Which is
fine. Oh, she 13? What? Yes. Skittles is 13 years old today.
I remember when she wasn't, which was yesterday. Ha ha ha. Shh. Is included in my movies, plays, or directed.
Yeah, Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yep. Oh, speaking of him, he did do the music for Encanto as well. So he's on a real big roll this year.
All over the place.
In the Heights, and with his first directorial debut with TikTok Boom, and the music for Encanto.
He directed TikTok Boom.
Yep, he directed it. First his directorial debut. So, and it's a fine directing job. Like, if you know musicals and just the way, that's why I mentioned transitions, it will build you through.
I mean, to be fair, after watching Hamilton, I kind of give him some credit because some of those are really good.
Hamilton, I remember after Hamilton, I watched it. I had that soundtrack on repeat for like 2 months. I could not stop listening.
Sure? I could have sworn it was probably an easy 3 months.
Yeah, it might have been 3. I lost count. But yeah.
I mean, I watched it once on Disney Plus, and some of the songs are still really catchy. So.
Because I was in the room when it happened. The room when it happened. You know, it's really catchy.
Oh, so I guess we'll talk about Cowboy Bebop on the after show.
That's fine.
So, and we can hit some of the other stuff on later, but yeah, it's been a crazy couple of weeks, and we got a couple more weeks before we're going to be closing down for the winter and Christmas and New Year's, and then we'll be back in January on a new day.
Yep. December is full with a lot of good watchings for me.
Especially Spider-Man No Way Home. I bought my tickets today.
Got my tickets for opening night and Friday night, so I'm ready to see it twice.
See, I'm not doing the nighttime. I went for a day. I went for the first showing of the day, the Saturday after premiere, after the weekend it comes out, because that means I got plenty of decent seating.
Yep, I still got good seating. But yep, lots of good watches coming up outside of Spider-Man. Got Matrix Resurrection, The Kingsman, Paul T. Anderson's next film, Licorice Pizza. Guillermo del Toro's movie Nightmare Alley, West Side Story, another Spielberg, and a couple ones up on Netflix. So,
Mayflower's realizing the age difference between her and Skittles. Might be trouble. But then again,
Yep.
Might be trouble. That's okay. If they're friends, if they're friends, it's all good. But yeah, it's so we got a couple more shows before we're done for the year. So hopefully you're gonna stick with us. This Saturday, we're doing another episode of the Feywild Adventure. That's gonna be Saturday night, streaming to our Patreon channel, and then the VOD will be released after. So if you are a Patreon member and want to watch live, you can do that Saturday night. If you're also a Patreon member, tune in over there because we're going to do our after show, which is a Patreon exclusive thing. If you've enjoyed what you're watching tonight, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and the little bell notification if you're new. If you're not new, just please hit the like button. If you're enjoying this, share it out. Let your friends know. Comment below in the comments. We appreciate all the feedback and all the love. If you do want to contribute more to support the studio, you can go to patreon.com/Scuba Studio.
Go there, people.
And consider being a patron there. We have some news and bits as things come out. The big thing is like some exclusives like this behind the scene, this after show, which is a Ask Us Anything format, as well as we'll just continue our conversation if you enjoyed listening to us ramble on. So, thank you to Sirenscape for the background music and soundboards that you've been hearing when we've not been running our mouths. Check them out at sirenscape.com. They have a plethora of sound bites and musics that you can use for your tabletop games or podcasts. It's always good to check them out, whether it's in person, virtual, lots of options, lots of stuff from high fantasy games all the way to sci-fi and Cthulhu. I'm going to try and find some holiday music for when we get into December shows. For what, 2 or 3 shows in December, and then we're done for the year?
Yep. Got it.
Uh-oh. Somebody's got plans this weekend. Well, we'll have to hear about how that went later.
Uh-oh. Ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding.
With that, you all have a wonderful evening, a wonderful week. Thank you for tuning in. We love you. We appreciate you.
Yes, I do. I appreciate you.
And if you're a Patreon member, head on over to Patreon so we can get to the after show. We'll be starting there in probably about 5 minutes. Everybody else, we'll see you on our next stream. Good night, everybody.
Peace.